Hey guys, my name is George and we are going to make this effect in Blender. I have prepared a very simple scene here, just an icosphere and a cylinder. This is mostly to have something to show with this effect. So some things first. Let's switch to EEVEE, only because it renders faster. Doesn't matter, you can work this with cycles, doesn't really matter. In the world, I have created a very simple gradient texture in Photoshop. You can use whatever HDRI or image you like, it doesn't really matter. I like this because it has some intense colors. Okay, so let's give both of these objects a metallic material and make it kinda shiny. Now, how the effect works. It works in the compositor. So let's create a new window and go into the compositor. Use nodes. Shift A. Scale node. Pixelate node. Transform node. So, don't forget your viewport settings. Always have the compositor on. So the basic idea is that we are going to use the first node to shrink the original image and then scale it back up. That is going to pixelate it. So let's use a value to make our lives a little bit easier. Let's say a small number, 0.1 should be okay. And then let's scale that back up. Let's say 10 should be good. Let's say 10. Okay, so we already have the effect in place. It is pixelated. Now, if we were going to use another scale node, let's say by 10 again, as you see it's kinda blurry. I don't know why, but with the transform and the nearest option selected, it's very crisp. Now, if you use the transform node, let's delete the scale node. If you use the transform node, there is a bilinear which can also make it blurry again, or bicubic. If that's the effect you want, you can use that. I really like the crisp edges. Now the first part is this, and it's very simple. Then we can add a glare node. Make it bloom like the old EEVEE settings. It doesn't have it right now. I'm using Blender 4.3 at the moment, but this should work in any version, I guess, as long as it has the pixelate node inside. So, bloom is in effect. Now if we want the bloom to be stronger, at this point, the only lighting we have is from our HDRI. So if we want the bloom to be stronger, we can just increase the strength of our world, make it as strong as we want. Let's say 2.5. The other thing we can continue to add is some grain. So we can add a mix color, we can add a texture. We can create a new texture here, make it noise. And then if we mix them with the overlay setting, we can create kind of a grain effect, which is it's happening live. You don't need to render it to see the effect happen. It happened live, which is pretty good. If you like that. Then we can try some emissive materials to see how the emission works. Let's make this an emissive material. Let's go into the shading. If we want the emission to be stronger, the bloom, we can increase our strength here as much as we like. Let's say this looks okay. Let's make gradient. Let's put a ramp. Let's make this a rainbow. Just so we have something better to look at. So we have this effect. Now, the good thing is that we can animate this. So we can create different types of effects. Let's do a very simple rotation. For both of our objects. Looks kinda interesting, I have to say. I really like this effect. Now, one of the most important things when you try to export this or render it as an animation or an image, it is very dependent on the resolution you have set in your world settings. I don't know why, but let's check this out. Now, if you see, yes, it is pixelated, but it's not the same as I see on my viewport. This has much more pixels. If we put it around, let's say 1350 or 1500 and render it again, it's going to be exactly the same, I would say. Not exactly, but very, very, very close to what you're seeing in your viewport. So keep that in mind if you want. You can play with the resolution, change how the pixel density works, I guess. What else? You can experiment with how much. If you don't like the bloom, you can do some streaks, or you can do I don't know, other stuff. Play with the settings and create your custom pixelated effect, I guess. I hope you can play with this effect. Thank you. We hope you have a wonderful day. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.